What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Hoda Husband Podcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran. I got both of my co-hosts on the line with me tonight. I got my man, Jay Babo. What's good, man?
Not much, man. Glad to be back on. The podcast guys was acting up on us last week, but get ready to get into this episode here. But want to remind you, you can catch us on TikTok and YouTube at Hold Husband Podcast. If you're interested in advertising with us, you can shoot us a DM at Hold Husband Podcast, as well as email us at holdhusbandpodcast@gmail.com. All right, T.
I also got my man SD in the building. What's good, man?
Man, a little tired, didn't sleep too well, but I'm here, so that's what's important. So I want to give a shout out to Brother Soul Productions, man, for always keeping the background audio fresh. And I want to remind you all to donate to the Hold a Husband podcast on Cash App and PayPal. All right, T.
I want to remind everybody y'all can catch the audio playback of the podcast every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on thecore94.com. Tonight's episode is titled You Deserve To Cum. We're going to be having a conversation about some of the mental obstacles that prevent women from being able to have orgasms, how people deal with lust and jealousy, and some of the common issues that couples have with their sex life. With our guests a little bit later. But y'all know how we do around here, man. We like to discuss stuff that we've seen on our timelines or things that have been trending. And man, I've been seeing this video all week of this guy that got stood up on a date, man. Let's take a look.
So I just left a restaurant after waiting 30 minutes for a date to show up, and apparently I got stood up. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm trying to do everything right to be a gentleman. I brought flowers. I've been consistent talking with this girl for 2 weeks, trying to get to know what she likes, what she doesn't like. I made plans. I picked the restaurant, the day, and the time. I've done everything to be just the kind of guy that would value somebody's time. Like, I'm just looking for my person. I'm just looking for the one that, I guess, is out there for me. I mean, I want to be somebody's husband someday, father. I'm trying to do everything that's right, and I just get stood up. Like, my feelings didn't even matter. Sitting there eating a meal by myself and realizing that nobody even cares.
Man, I'm trying to be not to be insensitive to his pain. But when I seen this, man, I mean, it's obvious why he got stood up. You know what I'm saying? Like, he obviously does not have the type of personality that most women are going to be attracted to. And so we talk about this all the time, man. Like, that's something that you start learning as a child in elementary school, how to interact with women and put yourself in a position to have a woman interested in you when you become adult. But to go on social media and go viral over this, bro, you are never gonna get no play, man.
No, man, bro ain't sucking no titties. He ain't sucking no titties, man. Like, come on, bro. Like, he got stood up because he's kind of feminine and soft. Women do not like feminine men. Most women like masculine, manly type of men. And this ain't gonna cut it. I found it funny that he's like, his voice is stuttering and I'm just trying to find my person. Somebody for me. Like, to women view that, and on social media, they'll say, oh man, that's so bad. He's so sweet. I hope he finds a great woman for him because he seems like a great man. But as soon as you say, hey, you'll date him? Oh, no, not me. Right? None of them, because that's what I did. I just trolled the comments. And I'm just asking them, hey, sweetheart, I know you single because you on my page telling me that you single. So I can hook you up with dude. Oh, no, it's not for me. Well, that's because, hey, I just did it because y'all can't sit here and say, oh, he deserves this great woman. He seems like a great guy, but you won't date him? Like, it's because
it's all cap.
He's soft. Yeah. Like, he's more soft and sensitive and all that, man. And women don't like that from a man. You have to stay.
And he's overweight, man. He's overweight. He's not well groomed. Like, there's a lot of room for improvement that he could do himself. um, to try to give himself a better chance. But what he's bringing to the table is not gonna cut it.
Exactly. Listen, women don't want a guy who's whining on the internet what the women ain't doing. That just ain't it. Yes, I've heard this basically the guy that you described on your lives when you're talking about a guy that's feminine. This is basically the guy that you broke down to a T here. It's that guy. But I know all those comments, all the women saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, he deserves that." They're basically patronizing this man. Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean,
basically.
Yeah, I was gonna say because basically it sounded like he was reading like a woman's comments on what to choose to take. You choose a time, bring her some flowers. Like he's doing all this stuff, these cliche things that you don't really have to do if a woman genuinely likes you.
Basically, this is the guy that gets friend zoned, like because that's all the women were hitting towards. Like, hey, I think there was one that's like, oh, hey, if you're in Atlanta, you can come, we can go get lunch. Yeah, basically she's as a friend, not as somebody she's sexually interested in.
No, no draws, man, not a one. But this is what happens. Not even close. This is what happens. Like most of these dudes out here are just like that. They are men that cannot be hoes. They couldn't be hoes as young men, and now that they old men, they still don't know how to navigate around women. They don't understand that women love confidence, manly confidence, not this soft, weak stuff that you coming with. I'm just trying to find my person. Man, shut up, man.
Man, the wording of that sounds so weak, man. Like,
men don't say that. Men don't say,
my person.
Man, I'm trying to find my person. Now, women will tell him that's so sweet. That's so sweet. But they won't date them. That's why a lot of times you can't listen to what these women say because they are led by their feelings in the moment. So in the moment they feel empathy.
He's getting curved. He's getting curved in any one-on-one situation. You know what I'm saying? Like just from his appearance to his swag to his vibe to his confidence. He's deficient in all the areas it takes to be successful with women. Even though he might have money, he might be making some good paper.
He might, but he got to pay for it though. He got to call 1-800-STROKEY to give him a check. He do.
Yeah,
his confidence is lacking. His confidence and his masculinity, like those are his biggest things. Because if you got a little money and you got confidence and you masculine, but you heavy and look like he look, women will still rock with you with the money, confidence, and able to talk.
Go get a fresh cut, man. Go get you a barber. Get right, man. You can improve your look.
He wasn't shaped up.
I mean, he didn't look shaped up. I saw this look like a barely kept beard. Like I said, man, there's always things guys can do to make themselves more appealing, and having a fresh lineup, even just the smooth lines on your face, bro, that makes a major difference, man.
Exactly. There's actually been studies that women like a guy with a fresh lineup, fresh shape up, and everything.
Of course they do.
That actually,
that's why they got barbershops.
Yeah. I mean, that could be proven. There's studies that have been shown for that.
But see,
this dude couldn't see it. This dude couldn't see this out of all the interactions with him, corresponding, calling her, texting her. He couldn't see that she wasn't interested on that kind of level.
He didn't want to see.
I bet he initiated every call, every text.
Good morning,
beautiful. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, what you doing? Can I take you out? Can I take you to lunch? Like, I mean, it fellas, I learned the most about how to navigate the dating scene by learning what not to do from other guys. So this is a dude that you can look at and be like, I definitely don't want to be like him. So anything you got in common with that dude in the video, you need to be putting in a lot of effort to correct it.
But see, you know what? A guy like this though, guys like this overcompensate for their lack of whatever it is they see in themselves that they are insecure about. It could be his weight. It could be I saw he was a little cockeyed or whatever. He might not have the swag. He might not have the money. So that a lot of times those types of guys try to overdo it. They get the flowers. They want to take you to the best restaurant. They want to love bomb you and tell you how gorgeous you are every single minute that you see them, right? Because they not
because they feel so lucky to be there.
Yep.
I mean, they just be feeling like they hit the lotto anytime they get any attention from a chick, and so that's a turnoff. Like we've heard women say all the time how the dude that didn't speak to him is the one that they liked, or the one
Yeah.
that intrigued them the most, or whatnot. Even if he still got to flirt, he still got to make his interest known, but he ain't got to chase her or do like what the other guys do. But man, when I saw Buddy, as soon as the video came on, I totally understood why sis wasn't interested in him. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
I never felt bad for him. I was like, hey man, whatever, dude. This is life. Stop your whining on social media. Like, why you whining, man? Everybody ain't gonna like you. Yeah, she was wrong for standing them up and saying she was gonna come to the date. Cool. But man, don't come on here whining. Now, if he had came online and said, hey, you know what, fellas, y'all take rejection and just keep moving. I got stood up tonight on a date, but it's all
that would have helped a lot.
Yeah, it's more fish in the sea. It is what it is. You keep moving with respect and you keep on moving. Bang, done. People would have been like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Cool. He would have been masculine still. He wouldn't have broke frame, and he probably would have had women at him like, man, I'll go out with you. Because he got the confidence and the masculinity.
I mean, and another thing that guys have to do, you got to stay in your lane, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if we don't know who he was trying to go on a date with, but it's very possible that she was out of his league and was just trying to be nice to him and entertaining him. You know what I'm saying? Like, we see this happen all the time.
Some of them ain't got no lane.
Damn.
They lane is back page. Go to back page, man. Just pay for it. That's your lane, buddy. Because you can't get nothing else out here normally. Like, that's just the reality of it, man.
He probably got more followers and DMs, but for all the wrong reasons here.
I DM'd him to see if he joined my live. You know what I'm saying? Because I was going to try and
Did he reply?
He never replied, man. I tried to get him on my live, and he never even replied, man. So, lame dude, if you watching this,
oh man, all right, let's keep things rolling, man. Now, this next video, this is a topic we've touched on a couple of times before, but this is a video where a woman's explaining why a guy cut her off over her male best friend. Let's take a listen.
I got broken up with because I posted this video on my story. Okay, broken up with is dramatic, as I was only talking to him for 3 weeks and we went on one date. But after I had posted that story, he was so annoyed with me. He basically told me that he doesn't do guy best friends with the girls that he's speaking to. And if he's pursuing someone, he just doesn't really respect the fact that I have a male in my life that I love real bad. Now, some of you may be as confused as me because this is literally my best friend of 6 years. He's like my brother at this point, and I would never even look at him a certain way. But this guy was serious, and he was not letting up on this boundary that he had placed. So the only thing I could do was respect it. I explained to him what the situation was, that it was not like that, but he wasn't hearing it. So he cut me off.
I mean, I don't see a problem with the guy cutting off a woman when he realizes that the situation is not something that he's going to be comfortable with. I never really cared what somebody thought about me cutting him off. Like, most people are not going to be happy if they like you and you decide to cut them off. So it's usually going to come with a negative. It could be they could lie on you, you know what I'm saying? Like, they could talk bad on your name or whatnot, but it is what it is. In a situation like that, I've never dated a chick that had a male best friend or like that, so I've never directly had to deal with it. But I've had lots of chicks lie to their men about smashing me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I knew the game, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen behind the scenes on how it actually works. So I would never go for that. You got my male best friend. Now, I don't have a problem with having friends of the opposite sex, but having a bestie that you got to do everything with, that is going way too far. So I don't have a problem with old boy cutting her off.
Man, listen here. When you look at the video, bruh got the fan on her at the concert. Fanning her. Like, yeah, like I'm gonna tell you right now. Like, it ain't a man on this planet approach a woman like that and wants to be her bestie that she calls and gossip with. No, he want to suck your titties. I don't care if you call him
unless
like
he's
brother.
I mean, even if he's gay. I've even heard of the gay dudes smashing.
Yeah, some of them do be doing that, but it depends on the dynamic of the friendship. Like if they grew up together as kids and I've never had no sexual contact, none of that, cool. But if you met this dude on some, he wanted to holler at you, but you didn't like him, because most men go into the friend zone with women because the women don't like them. But they will wait in the wings for something to happen so they can pounce on them because they still want to have sex with them. Ask a woman if she'd be okay. Because if you ask most women, hey, if you offer some head to your male best friend, do you think most of them would take it? Most women would say yes, they would, right? Yes, because they know men. Of course. So now ask those same women, if you knew that your man's female best friends would have sex with him or wanted to have sex with him, would you be okay with him having female friends? All of them would say no. I can almost guarantee it. Exactly. I can almost guarantee it. But they want you to be okay with these male friends that they know would sleep with them if given the chance. And to me, that's a bunch of nonsense. So unless y'all grew up together, I don't want to hear about no male. Don't tell me this man your friend and he done seen. And
even then, even if you grew up with the dude, there gotta be boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Like, exactly. I don't know, man. I'm not in this generation where, like I said, you dating somebody and then you got to see their stories and see what they doing and when they not around you. So that would be a little bit different. You know what I mean? But the whole bestie thing now I do think the dude could have talked to her about it. You know what I'm saying? Explain it, right? Or express how he felt about it. But like she said at the end of the video, she said all she could do is respect his opinion and keep it moving. It's all good.
I mean, man, that's his boundary. That's a deal breaker for him. So she has no choice but to respect that, because, like SD said, what guy does just sit there fanning you and he don't want to do nothing? The first, come on. Basically, a lot of times, dude's just waiting in the way, being an orbiter, waiting for her significant other to slip up or he catch slipping, and she in a vulnerable position, because that's usually the best time. You know, if you're an opportunity, that's usually the best time. She's gonna be open or whatever. Hey, listen, what you doing tonight? Hey, come through to the crib.
I always thought that was stupid when guys did that, because it's like, bro, you could be focusing that energy on another chick. You know what I'm saying? Instead of catering to a chick that's trying to be with somebody else. But you're right, man.
That's what it is.
Did y'all catch what she said about him though? She said, I love him real bad. I love him real bad. Come on, man. He done seen a booty hole before. I can guarantee it.
I wouldn't put it past him at one day.
I can guarantee it. You ain't running around talking about him real bad. Come on, man.
Man, a lot of women, like, you see what they post online. So a lot of these women will be friends with these guys and be walking around in their panties and doing stuff because she doesn't view him sexually. She'll be like, what's the big deal? We're not going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, they treat it like it's nothing.
But you know what? These women are overtly aware of the situation. They know dude wants to hit. They ain't stupid. They ain't like, hell yeah. They know good and well dude wants to hit.
Yeah.
They're just waiting on the
She definitely benefits from the friendship.
Yeah, absolutely she do. She get a male that's around that can protect her. He probably paying for most of the things they going to do. Absolutely she benefits.
You hungry, you want some food.
Yeah, like these chicks ain't stupid out here, man. They know what they doing. But the difference between the male friend zone and the female friend zone is most men, the men will still sleep with the women. When women friends, really friend zone a man, they don't really be sexually attracted to him like that. If it's a real friend zone situation, they don't really be attracted to him sexually, but he's still attracted to her sexually. So a lot of them lame dudes will sit in the friend zone waiting on something to happen to where they can sneak in, like, I ain't gonna say that, but, waiting so they can sneak in, so they can, so they can smash. Like, that's the way it happens.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times, it's not necessarily the exception to what you just mentioned is a situation where a guy that she may be physically attracted to, but he's off limits. he smashed her cousin or he smashed one of her friends or something. So women will try to put him in the friend zone, but that can be a conflict because body language don't really lie.
He
And
gonna hit
usually when
eventually.
Yeah.
usually
Like,
a guy can tell when a woman's attracted to him if he's
of
around
course.
her for an extended period of time.
Of
So
course, it ain't hard to tell. Like, I mean, you know what's up. If she talking about, oh, you smashed my cousin. Listen, I done been there. You know, you hit my girl, so we can be cool. Yeah, all right. 2 weeks.
you just got to
Two
show her that
weeks.
you can keep your mouth closed, man.
Yeah, like 2 weeks, man. Actually, bring the friend with you. Bring the friend with you. It has, things like that happen, man, because ain't no way she gonna be able to keep cool, especially if she heard about the dick too. If she heard about it, there's no way she gonna want to be hanging around you like that and not try it out. No way.
Yeah, man, I was real horrible with my female friends. Like I ended up smashing all my female friends.
Me too.
But I did. I remember I had one where she was calling herself my best friend or whatnot, and I remember I had a girlfriend at the time, and we started having sex. And I remember she had came to my apartment one day with no panties on. We had sex, and then she went with me to go shop to buy a Christmas gift for my girlfriend. So
Oh,
wow.
man. Wow. That's
so
dirty there.
so
That's
I mean, so sometimes the bestie situation ain't always gonna be keeping a person on the right path. Um,
That's
but it is.
dirty,
I mean,
man.
but I do regret it though. You know what I mean? Like, cause some of the friendships I appreciated the actual friendship more than the fling, because it's not like we was in a relationship or nothing. It was just a
Yeah,
couple times we had sex, and then that was
but
it.
you can't call her your friend after you seen her booty hole, Terry. That ain't right. That ain't your friend, man. That's a chick you used to smash.
True,
No,
true,
bro, you can't do it.
true.
You see her out, be like, yeah,
I
that's
mean,
my friend, such and such. No, that's the chick I used to dig out. That's not my friend.
well, so
She's my friend, man.
well, I never really do that. Like, introduce somebody. I'm not really introduce somebody to others unless you my woman already. So, but I get it. I didn't really have no etiquette on how to handle, uh, sneaky links and all that type of stuff. When I would be in those environments, I would just stay in motion. You know what I mean? That was my
Yeah.
way of dealing with the issue.
Keep it moving so you ain't got to answer no questions. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
oh,
you
man,
see multiple
go
chicks in the
ahead.
party. I can't be with you the whole time, so I can speak. Hey, I'm about to run into, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then you keep things
Play the field.
on the up and up. Yeah, yeah.
It
Float
happens,
around
man.
the party, make
Yeah.
plans. Yeah. So
It's easy life, man, but you got to keep that together, man. You can't be taking a side chick to buy your girlfriend some fellas. Y'all can't be taking your side chick to go buy gifts, man. Like, that's just a whole nother level of dirt bag. That's what that is, man. Don't do that.
well, first of all, I didn't know she was gonna
explain,
come
Terry.
over there for sex.
You ain't gotta explain.
So
man.
yeah.
You ain't gotta explain to us. You know what I'm saying? You're a married man now, so it's okay. But this is for the fellas that's out there that might be thinking about being dirt bags. Don't be that dirt. Don't be that dirt of a dirt bag. Don't be that hoe of a hoe. Terry was a hoe.
Have
Don't
some
be
morals.
like Terry.
Have some morals, fellas. Yeah. Now that we discussing it and y'all pointing out the the wrong side of it, I can admit that I was out of line.
Hey,
but
listen,
man, it
say,
was very exciting.
Hindsight is always 20/20 there. And you probably like, hey, I'm hitting these cheeks. You wasn't thinking about it then. Now you're like, damn, you know what? That was a little fucked up there.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what it was? The thing about it though, situations where you're not supposed to be fucking somebody just add like a level of excitement to it. So that's kind of, we started off having sex on that type of vibe where I knew somebody that she used to smash, her ex-boyfriend, and she didn't want it to know that she smashed me, so we secretly had sex. And then when I ended up getting a girlfriend, we secretly had sex on the inside. It was just a lot of, you know, secret excitement that kept that thing popping.
It happens. It happens.
All right, man. Let me get over these hotels, man. We about to take a quick break. When we get back, we're gonna be getting into our topic of the night. You deserve to come. You guys are tuned into the Ho to Husband podcast. We'll be back in a minute. Hi, I'm relationship coach and author Terry Duran, and I am pleased to announce that my book, It's Not That Complicated, is finally available as an audiobook. So if you don't like to read or you just don't have time to read a paperback book, this audiobook is perfect for you. You can listen to it while you're in your car, while you're at work, etc. In the book, I break down how husband material men think and operate in regards to sex, love, and relationships, and I provide real quality insight on how husband material men approach dating. The audiobook is available on audible.com and on iTunes. All you have to do is go to one of the websites and search for my name, Terry Duran. Go download your copy today. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Ho to Husband podcast. We have our special guest on for the night. Tonight we have Josephanie Smith. What's going on? How you doing, Jeff? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm glad to have you back on the podcast. We enjoyed the conversation last time, so I definitely wanted to invite you back. Before we get into the conversation, can you let the audience and our viewers know a little bit about you, your background, etc.?
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, my name is Josephanie. I am a sex and relationship therapist. I'm in private practice in the metro Atlanta area. So I help couples. I am poly, kink, BDSM, LGBTQ plus, all the things friendly. So I kind of help couples navigate their, I work with couples and individuals, but all on relational issues. So I help people kind of navigate their relationships and figure out their sexual identities and how that impacts how they interact with others and all the things. So yeah, sex across the spectrum.
All right. Sound like you in Atlanta dealing with all the letters. A lot of controversial conversations. We've been seeing go viral. I try to steer clear of that. I don't want to get canceled. But the first thing I wanted to ask you, what's the biggest or the most common problem that you see among your clients in regards to their sex lives or their relationships?
Probably one of the biggest things is sexual incompatibility. People just on separate pages sexually, mixed match libidos, differences in desire, differences in needs, not necessarily knowing how to communicate those. So yeah, just on totally separate pages, can't get on the same page about sex, what they want, what they need.
Don't they I think that's something they should do early on before they actually get into a relationship? Or are they compatible early and then things change later on?
Does it change? Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Is it something that just happened?
I think it can change. I think a lot of times people run on like new relationship energy. And it's like that NRE is high. It's like we're all in, but as soon as it kind of dies down and you recognize like sex is mundane, it's the same thing all the time. Like there's no variety. I think it can change. Or then, it also is impacted by like a lot of different factors. So, as life's things do change. Yeah. And people don't know how to necessarily move with the changes. So.
Yeah, that could be a tough conversation. You know what I mean? Just trying to have discussions on social media can get real emotional or real testy. So I can imagine trying to have a conversation in person. For
sure.
Oh no. So when one of the big things that I see on my page an awful lot are conversations about cheating and flirting and liking pictures, etc. What are your thoughts on when it comes to lust and desires for other people when it comes to dating?
What are my thoughts on lust and desire when it comes to dating? And cheating, I think betrayal, like cheating, I think it happens well before cheating. Like whether it's like, I don't know, how do we define cheating? Just penetrative sex to somebody else. It depends on, first of all, how you define like cheating, but
I mean, you gotta use a general definition, because anything your partner feel is cheating is pretty much cheating, right?
cheating. Yeah, but you know, I don't know. It really just depends. Like a lot of times betrayal does happen well before the incident, right? Like that door is open well before someone actually cheats on their partner. And that's like based on a lot of different factors. So I don't know, inability to communicate, again, like about what their needs are. Like I just see that a lot. Like there are deficits in relationships and there are missed opportunities for communication that people in relationships don't take advantage of. And so when they don't, like, it's like, well, I still have this need that's not being met, or I'm still like, whether it's, you know, wanting to feel like needed or wanted or desired or whatever the case may be, like lust, that whole like, lust is nothing but just an intense sexual desire, right? And people want to feel wanted. And so it's like when that's not happening at home, more or less, people tend to seek it elsewhere. And Instagram, where all the options are, like social media is where all the options are.
Yeah, all right. Do you deal with a lot of your clients, or do they deal with cheating before they actually get to you, and somebody's done cheated and that's why they coming to you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably half of my client load, probably
really?
Right now. It's like,
okay,
yeah.
Is that both heterosexual relationships and lesbian or gay relationships or poly relationships? Is it all of those that?
Yeah, is the rate of cheating the same?
It's the exact same.
Really?
It's literally the exact same. Like I think people think like you can't cheat in like a poly relationship because it's it's a free for all and all the things, but once a boundary is set, whether it's two of y'all or more of y'all, once that boundary, those perimeters.
What's considered breaking a boundary in a polyamorous relationship? Like what's an example of them?
Yep, it depends. So first, you know, poly relationships happen in a number of different dynamics, right? Like it's people are, you know, you can be swingers. I don't know, you can be like a close like triad, you know, where it's three of you, but it's only the three of us that, you know, we're in a close relationship. It just depends. But once you are in a relationship with people and it's all consensual and you set a like, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're not going to do, whatever is outside of that, you know, is considered cheating.
That's fair. You know, right. You know, and that's why when you talk about people that are like in open relationships and things like that, on the surface, you like, well, damn, you can't fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like you can do whatever you want, but that's not really the case. Like even in an open relationship, there are usually going to be boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Like it can't be somebody that I work with or somebody you know what I'm saying? Like there could be things like that come into play where you violate it, and it's just like you stepped out the side of the relationship in any other way where you severely violate the trust.
Yeah, but you gotta be one goofy dude to have a woman that says, "Hey, if we talk, you can, you know what I'm saying? We can get a girl together, we can do that." And you go outside of that, and you got two women there. Like that's just nuts to me. When everything is open, the communication is there, and they are okay with it, and you still go behind their back. You got to be the nuttiest nut out here, man, to do that. I'm sorry, like, that's crazy to me. But I'm sure, I know it happens though. I've heard about it. So.
It definitely happens. It happens for sure. But you said like the communication is there. A lot of times the communication is not there, and that's the problem. And sometimes just opening up isn't the thing that solves the problem. And then a lot of people open up their relationships as a band-aid, right? Like I'm not getting what I need in my relationship, so the answer is to have a relationship with somebody else. Those problems are going to persist until you figure out how to solve them. They are going to persist.
No doubt.
So you just involving more people in your problem.
Yeah, it's hard for me to understand a poly relationship where the communication is bad when it comes to sex, to where you feel like you gotta sneak and go have sex. Like that's hard for me to understand, because the basis of that relationship is being open with each other enough to know that y'all enjoy other people, whatever it is. So how could you not have that communication there when that is the basis and the foundation of your relationship? it just don't compute in my brain. That's all I'm saying. Like, it's just that's crazy to me. So, but why do you think it's so hard for women to manage? Why do you think it's so hard for women to manage their emotions when it comes to casual sex? Why do you think that's so hard?
Because I think a lot of times women are either sold a dream or we're socialized to, like, you know, it's like sex in today's society, but sex generally in society is like, once we are close in that way, we go together. And that's not necessarily the case. So but when we don't go together, now it's a betrayal. It reads as like, you have done me wrong, rather than, you know, we just was in the agreement.
I enjoy what we had.
Yeah. So, and then
because guys give disclaimers about it, you know, they have the catching feelings conversation, and we just friends, and you know, all those type of things, but none of it works. Once she catch feelings or she really enjoy the sex.
Oh yeah.
Do you think
slippery slope?
Yep. Do you think females lie like that just to get what they want out of the relationship or the guy that they're dealing with?
You said, ask me that again.
You know, like when we say they're okay with having casual sex in order to get what they want out of that person.
Trying to manipulate them into the relationship.
To manipulate them into a relationship, I don't know if that's the case. I think people have casual sex and there's a level of entitlement. I don't know if it's necessarily, because manipulation has such a malicious like connotation. It's like, you know, like I purposefully no, but it, like, you know, the expectation is that once we get close like this and we're doing all the things, we go together.
But why is that an expectation though? When you agreed to just casual sex, you didn't agree to go together. Y'all agreed to casual sex. So how is that an expectation if that's not what we agreed on? So if that's your expectation, see, this is what I'm saying. But as a woman, if that's an expectation for you, most women are not communicating that with the man, that, hey, I expect after 2 or 3 months of consistent sex that we are going to go together. Most women ain't saying that once y'all agree to casual sex. So to me, it's manipulative, because that particular direction, as far as where you think the relationship should go, you haven't communicated with him. So now when you get to this point where you feel like y'all should, now you're like, where you going? What you doing? Who you going with? And he like, yo,
questions.
Why you asking me all these here questions? Well, you think y'all go together, but you never communicated that up front. That's why I say manipulative, because you really want a relationship, but you're not saying that up front. You gonna go with the casual sex to try to get them to do it later on.
I don't know. I'm gonna challenge that, because not everybody goes into casual sex relationships thinking I want a relationship. People catch feelings.
Yeah,
that's part of the human experience. Like sometimes you just encounter, like, the way that you are putting it, it seems calculated. Like, this is going to be my plan to get a relationship out of this person. Not necessarily. It can be that we're enjoying this, but now I'm wanting to enjoy a little bit more, or that the sex becomes more than that. Like, there are things that are like universally understood to, like, or have been socialized to like correspond with a relationship. Like, now it's casual sex, but it's also like, I'm taking you to meet my parents, and it's also like we're like doing park dates with the kids, and it's also like all of this other stuff that, like, everything but the title of a relationship. So it's like, it's misleading. Like, you are behaving as if we are exclusive. You know,
but,
so it's not.
You know, but don't you think it's? Oh, go ahead.
Well, no, I was gonna say, I see a lot of conversation in regards to body count and promiscuous behavior. How do you address that with your clients, or what are your recommendations to how people can communicate about a promiscuous past or some questionable behavior?
A lot of times I don't. Body count is the most irrational, irrelevant. 9 is okay, but 10 is too many? Like, who says what stuff? Like, you know, and it's one thing, like, especially women are expected to be like sluts and saints. Like, you better have like one sexual partner, but you better be a freak when you get here. Like, it doesn't, there's no correlation. Like, it doesn't add up. It doesn't. So generally I don't address it. To me, why does it matter? And that's the question I ask. Why does it matter? What came before you? Like, why does the past matter? And a lot of the reasons why I hear that it matters,
No, go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Oh no. Go ahead. What were you?
Do you think most women catch feelings during casual sex encounters with men
No.
when it's good sex?
Mm-mm.
No.
No, I'm not going to say most women. No, there are plenty of women that enter into casual relationships just as that, and it doesn't go any further. I can't say that most women do that.
So do you think that a lot of casual flings that women have affect them emotionally, or no?
It depends. I think it depends on their attachment. I think it depends on their attachment style and how they relate to the world around them. So it varies. I don't know. That's a loaded question, but I can't say one or the other.
Are you saying that some women can be emotionally attached or emotionally detached when they're in a casual relationship with a guy?
Wait, you said can a woman be emotionally detached when they're in a casual relationship? They can be, sure. I think they 1000% they can be detached, but I think it depends on the woman, and I think it depends on her own individual experience. So,
yeah, I think it is becoming more accepted now, to where more women are, you know what I'm saying, being more detached from the feelings part of it now, with just, you know, social media and different things, being more free and liberated and all these here types of things, to where they like, hey, we could just have sex and cut the dude off too now. You're getting a lot more of that than what you used to do maybe 15, 20 years ago or something like that. So I think
a lot of that it's like a safety measure, because I saw on shout out to 100 Days of Summer. He came on a show a couple months back, but he has his OnlyFans where he teaches women to orgasm and records it and all that. And he had put up a post where he was saying that some of his clients or the women he has sex with will tell him how they had the best sex experience they ever had, or that's that first time squirting or whatever. And he said he'll wake up the next day and he's blocked. And I'm like, why the hell would you cut off somebody that just made you bust the biggest nut ever? But it was multiple women that did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just couldn't take it, the emotion. And I'm like, how you go on somebody's OnlyFans to have sex and catch feelings? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was hard for me to wrap my brain around it.
It's science, you know, like it's like when you have an orgasm, your body releases like oxytocin and stuff. It's the feel good hormone that promotes connectivity. It's the bonding chemical. So it's like, yeah. And if you know that this is someone that you should not be bonding with in that regard, you had the experience, you let it go. Like, but that's how you catch feelings. It's all science.
So based on your experiences, what do you think is the biggest hurdle women have to overcome in order to have an orgasm more frequently? I think that's one of the biggest points women have.
To have an orgasm more frequently, that's also a loaded question. So, but we can get into it. Like, there are so many things that I say. Short version. All right. When I talk to my couples, we explore like 3 areas, basically, like 3 components to like good sex, right? Before I get into that, I'm gonna preface all of this with saying heterosexual women first are having the least amount of orgasms than any other demographic. That's number 1. Straight women are not orgasming. The orgasm gap is real.
Oh man.
They are not, especially not through penetrative sex. Like, but then we go into like men feeling threatened by the vibrator and all those other things. That's a whole nother conversation. Yeah, the rose, but there are so many. That's a whole nother conversation. But so when I talk to my clients, and it's like, I'm sorry. When I talk to my clients, and it's like, okay, why are you not having good sex? Why does your sex life suck? We explore a number of different things, right? Like, first we explore like physical components, right? I don't know, there's like diabetes, like health conditions, weight, like, you know, obesity, those sorts of things that impact a woman's or a person's libido, because this runs true for men and women. So physical components, things like that, any physiological reasoning that may impact their ability to have an orgasm, things that you need to go to the doctor for, right? Outside of that, we explore any sort of like psychiatric or psychological components. Like, is there any depression, stress, anxiety, PTSD, specifically any sexual trauma that they've gone through that impact their ability to have an orgasm? And if we're clear in those components, then we explore the environment, right? Even things like, is it clean? Like, are you able to relax in this space, right? Because stress is the biggest killer of orgasm. You are absolutely not going to have an orgasm if you are stressed, if you're in the wrong headspace, right? So you want to be able to be in a space where you can be out of your head and into your body. If that's all clear, then are you having the type of sex that you want to have in the first place? Like, is it pleasurable? Is it enjoyable? Like, are you having sex with a partner that's interested in meeting your needs, right? It takes the average woman 14 minutes just about to reach orgasm, where it takes men like 3, right? So it's like, if a man is not focused on a woman's pleasure, he get in and get out in 3 minutes. The woman is just getting started. So women are not having orgasms.
3 minutes? That's tough.
That's me being generous too.
You gotta add some foreplay to that, fellas. You gotta pace yourself. Pace yourself.
3 minutes, man. And they doing like 2 pumps a minute. Like, this dude ain't got no stamina. Good grief.
Well, yeah, that's a real interesting breakdown, because when I talk to people about sex from the male perspective, a lot of the times I say that sex is really a mental experience. The thoughts that turned you on, that made you horny, that made you attracted to that particular person. And a lot of times when we have conversations about it, the women that struggle with it, like you said, is something that they think about, or he had dirty fingernails, or it reminded me of a bad situation. It's always kind of like some negative trigger or attachment to it that prevented the orgasm from actually taking place. So I think that's a great way for you to approach it, with the health concerns first, then the mental, and then the actual physical experience. That's a great approach.
Yeah, so I got a question for you real quick. First of all, I want to say, fellas, a small vibrator is your friend in the bedroom. All right. But
Facts.
do you think that have you seen excessive toy use from a woman hurting them from orgasming? Have you ever witnessed that?
Oh, good question.
Went across that?
No. I see a lot of comments like this too, where people are like, oh, like, you're going to become like desensitized. Like, the clit is going to stop working if you use like vibrators all the time and all that stuff. Absolutely not. A vibrator is your friend. Like, it is your friend. I think the problem comes when the vibrator is able to do something that a person cannot, right? And then those feelings of like inadequacy and all of those things. A vibrator is good.
I mean, but a man gonna never be able to compete with a vibrator.
Why not? It's not about competition. I
know, that's what I'm saying. Like, but yeah, you can't view it as you got to view it as a tool to reach the goal. But if the woman's like, well, my rose make me come every time and you don't, that's unfair as hell.
But that might have to do with technique. It might have to do with skill set. It might have to do with, because vibrators just increase blood flow to your parts, right? Making it, more probable to reach orgasm. Okay. But it's like, all it is learning. Like, a man can learn how to make a woman orgasm. A man can learn female anatomy. A man can learn his way around the vulva. Like,
absolutely.
But if he doesn't want to, feels like you are like sunning me, like, there's some sort of intimidation, whatever that may be, where I'm not motivated to learn about that or whatever. So the vibrator is going to win every time.
Yeah, but you know what helped me? Like, this here was what I would tell men all the time. Learn your woman. Watch her play with herself and make herself come. You can learn her stroke. You can learn her pressure. You can learn the motion that she likes. All of that, if you just sit there and watch her make herself come, and then you just imitate the motion, you imitate the pressure, and you will be able to make her come from giving her head. I guarantee it. That's a good way of learning.
You got to be wanting to learn.
Absolutely.
Tuning into what she likes, dislikes.
Yeah, I don't know how men don't want to make a woman, whoever they laying down with, come, because that makes her want to come back to you when you make her come. Like, because most women ain't having orgasms when they lay with a man. Like 70% ain't having orgasms or something like that. So when you can do it, you a diamond in the rough. So I don't get why dudes don't really want to study this, man. It's all about them. And that's why women, going to other women, that's where they get their most orgasms at, with other women, I think, if I ain't mistaken. For sure.
Oh man, this is a good conversation. It looked like we against the clock. We're about to get up out of here, but before we go, can you let our audience know where they can find you, how they could book a session with you, etc.? Oh man, look like we got Josephanie has some issues. Look like we frozen. That's unfortunate, but we at least we had got the conversation out the way. Um, before we get up out of here, man, I want to give a shout out to my man Brother Soul Productions for keeping us laced with the background audio. I want to remind y'all to continue supporting the podcast through our Cash App and our PayPal. JSD, man, I appreciate y'all linking up with me so we can get another episode knocked out. Josephanie, we definitely enjoyed our conversation with you. And I'm glad we were able to get to the end of the interview before it froze up on us. This has been another episode of the How to Husband Podcast, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.